Okay. So what I thought would be good to start with was just to think about when we're thinking about developing products or developing features at Google, what's important is what behaviors and mindsets does the team need to have in order for them to drive innovation and for them to be able to develop new products. So what we think about here are 6 of Google's, I'm going to call them innovation principles. So these are really kind of the mindsets that we try to practice at Google to help us build teams that can create really cool things. So the first one, and I'll go into that one in a little bit more detail, is psychological safety. Does anyone know what psych safety means? No? Okay. So psych safety is a term that's used pretty often in business now about it's really when teams have trust and safety and the feeling that they can take risks on the team and the feeling that the team will support them even if they take risks. And those can be social risks, those can be like actual business risks or things that you're doing as a team, but you feel like your team is going to support you and to accept you to take those risks. Couple of the other mindsets that we really practice at Google. The first one is the second one is focusing on the user. So Google has had this philosophy since the very beginning that we need to think customer and user first when we build our products. And if we are solving for the user, the rest will follow. So the revenue will follow, the other opportunities will follow if we are doing what the user actually needs and what's best for the user. Third one, thinking 10x. So one of the Google founders, Larry Page, always used to say, think 10x, think 10x. How can you be bigger with your goals? So he actually used to go around to different teams and challenge them and say, I see this goal that you're working on. Like, what would that goal look like if you completely scrapped it and you did the 10x opportunity? And that's really, the theory behind that is if you're always just making kind of small incremental changes, you're never going to drive huge new step changes or huge innovation. Fourth one, launch and iterate. So this is this concept, Google being a very technology focused and product company of we want to get our products out there and then get feedback from our customers and our users and then make quick iterations. So we're constantly, and I'm sure John has a lot of experience with this and a lot of folks on this panel of like getting products out there, getting the feedback and then making another iteration. The fifth one, default to open. So Google has always tried to have a really transparent culture where we try to share as much as possible so people can, at all levels of the company, can understand our strategy and know why we're doing the things that we do. We have things like TGIF, which is our every week, Friday or Thursday afternoon, all company meeting where our founders or Sundar, our CEO, will actually get up on stage and take questions from people at all levels of the company. And we intentionally try to be really open and share more so than I think a lot of other companies do. And then the last one is the fact that innovation can come from anywhere. So at Google, we don't have a specific team that is, the innovation team. The idea is that it can come from any person at any level in any department. And we see that in things like a lot of people do something called 20% projects, which is like a side project that you can do outside of your core role. And some of our best products actually came from that. So Gmail was somebody's 20% project many, many years ago, and now it's over 1 billion users. So this idea that kind of a new product, a new feature, new idea can really come from anywhere. I think we touched on psychological safety a lot, but the thing that I'll just point out is we actually did a research project called Project Aristotle. I think this was in 2018, to look at what makes an effective team at Google. So we looked at hundreds of different teams across Google. Many of these are cross-functional teams, which means you might have some engineering people, you might have some product people, some sales people, you have people from all different departments working together. And we tried to analyze what makes these teams successful and what are the factors. And going in, the team that was doing the research had a lot of hypotheses, right? Like, okay, if you have a team with the most high performers, maybe that makes the most successful team. Or maybe if you have, a team that has been at Google the longest, that might make them successful. And what ended up coming out of the research was those things didn't matter nearly as much as psychological safety. So this 1 through 5 are the most important team effectiveness factors. And regardless of who the team members were, if the team had that baseline of trust and the ability to work together and to take risks, that was the main thing that made them successful. So I think that's actually even an interesting thing that you can apply to group projects that you do at Middlebury. Like, how are you building trust within teams that you're working on?